Good morning. Hi,
Good morning,
guys.
everybody. Happy New Year.
Yeah. So
2018. And here we are back with Coffee with the K's for 4 more weeks.
yeah. All right. We're excited. We're going to talk literally all things keto today. So if you have been maybe curious about ketogenic or you've been hearing about it, it's becoming so popular right now. And we're excited because this is literally kind of our lifestyle. We go in and out of ketogenic. We cycle it, and we'll talk about how we do it and why we do it that way. But we're excited to talk to you guys and give you all kinds of information if you've been thinking about it or questioning it. Hopefully, we can answer some of your questions. If we don't get your question answered, feel free to type it below, and we'll do our best to, get you that information.
Yeah, just contact us on Instagram or Facebook. We're excited that we're going to have a YouTube channel now. We already have that established, so go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel because we're going to post our videos every Monday, and we're going to keep up with that all year.
Yeah.
So we're really excited about the YouTube channel. So we're really excited about ketogenic because we've been doing it for about the last 2 years, and of course 2018 it's the #1 trending diet change people are making for this year. So we're excited to talk about it today.
Yeah. So basically, what is ketogenic? You want to tell them what ketogenic is? Well, first of all, our coffee, I'm just going to tell you because we can't do coffee with the K's and not tell you what our coffee is.
Got to have our coffee.
This is our favorite coffee. It's coming from Maui. It's Grandma's Maui coffee. It's so good, you guys. Check this out. You have to order it, but it's really good. Okay, moving on.
Yeah, moving on.
Okay, it's our favorite. So tell them what keto actually is.
Well, just to keep it real simple and brief, it gets really in depth. There's a lot of biochem, there's a lot of blood chemistry that goes along with this. But basically, we're changing the way we use energy, break down energy inside the body from the foods that we eat. So instead of your typical foods that will produce glucose that your body uses for quick energy or then will store as fat, we're actually going to bypass that whole system. Our body's going to adapt to break down our fat stores into fatty acids, into ketone bodies, and then our body's going to use ketone bodies for its energy source. Okay, so it's completely changing it. So the reason why people use it for like a weight loss or a diet plan is when you're not using abundance of glucose and you're not storing glucose and it's not being turned into fat and it's not going through that pathway, we're actually shedding fat, we're actually breaking fat down. It's a quick way to completely change the way your body uses energy, and it has to kind of pull out of its stores as opposed to having a blood abundance.
So normally you are running off of glucose or sugar. Well, we're running off of both. It's kind of like this, where this is glucose and this is ketones. You have both in your body. Ketogenic is doing this. We want the ketones to be the main source of energy and your glucose stores to really drop. When this happens, you start breaking down fat and using that as your energy. It's a quick, it's an efficient, it's a clean way of losing weight quickly and really having high energy levels. One of the reasons that we love this is it is muscle sparing. If you guys have ever done a crash diet, guilty, you know that it breaks down your muscle. And one of the things that's such a bummer about doing it that way is your muscle is what determines your metabolism. So if you're breaking down muscle and you come out of your diet, you gain weight back maybe twice as fast, or you put it on
faster and faster every time. You do those yo-yo diets, you go on a diet, all of a sudden you go off for a little bit and then you gain weight instantly. It always is more work to get rid of it than it is to gain it back.
Exactly, because you've broken down your muscle.
Yeah, you really don't want to change the integrity of your muscle, of your protein. So you have to keep your lean muscle mass up. That's the only thing that really you can control in regards to your metabolism. Your metabolism is basically your metabolism.
It is what it is.
And it's a ticking clock to where you're losing that metabolism. It's decreasing over time as you age. So you want to keep as much lean muscle mass. So if you're just doing like a low calorie, you're like, okay, I'm just going to exercise more, I'm going to do low calorie. You don't want to get into that starvation mode. You don't want to get into that point where you're going to start breaking down your protein, you're going to start breaking down your muscle, because that can really have some other effects. So that's what we liked. We're like, if we're going to do a different diet plan, if we're going to do a different lifestyle, we're going to change everything.
We want it to be healthy.
We want to save our muscle. I mean, main thing. We just want to keep the muscle.
When you come out of ketogenic, hopefully you've been working out and you're actually even gaining muscle mass. You have great metabolism when you come out. You know, you're just cutting. It's a great way to cut if you're already toned or you've already got the muscle, but you want to just kind of tone up even further and really cut. Ketogenic is great for that. So that's one of the reasons we were really drawn to it, is it's muscle sparing, and we feel like we can still work out pretty hard. And yeah, so it's been a really good lifestyle for us.
Now, one thing, when you look at the pros and cons of keto, the one con that will always pop up will be that it's strict. It's hard to do.
They'll say, hard to do.
On most nutrition websites, most nutritionists, most everybody, they'll say it's just very strict, even though they know there are some benefits for it. Maybe not benefits for everybody, but for the masses, for healthy individuals, it can work really well for you. But it's strict. Well, the one thing though that does kind of tip that scale that I think is a good thing is that because you increase your fat, you're doing a very high 70 to 90% fat, you're doing fat, protein, it's very satiating, meaning that it kind of curbs your appetite.
Yes.
So if you just do low calorie, you still kind of get those cravings. You're really craving some of that food that you shouldn't eat, those sugars and carbs and things that are just easy access, easy, quick energy. This curbs that, okay? It kind of, because after you've ate like something with a dense fat in it, you're full. You're like, I can't eat anymore. Whereas other times, if you're eating a lot of sugar or candy, you can just keep going. You can just keep rattling it off. This won't do that. Plus, for your general athlete, for your general activity, your general athletics, it's not going to give you that crash point. It's going to kind of level you off a little bit. So instead of having that quick energy boost and then really crashing from that glucose store, you can actually kind of maintain a little steadier pace. But there are some other tricks to that if you are a real high-performance athlete and you're doing some other things. There's some tricks to kind of balancing your glucose and your ketones at the same time. But we can talk about that another day, and if you have those concerns, just let us know. But for the general public that's just a weekend warrior, your general fitness, exercise, 6 days a week, ketone can work well for you.
Yes. We have notes, because we can get talking about this and go all over the place. Are we on our...
She loves this. Dr. Szymanski loves this. She puts a lot of her patients on this nutrition plan. So she uses it all the time and has been for about the last year. So it's kind of fun that we get to talk about it today, and it's actually kind of pretty popular right now, so it makes a lot of sense to do it.
So one of the downfalls, though, that you do have to be careful with ketogenic, if you are interested in going on it, it's great that it does suppress your appetite, but with that comes... It's kind of like, it's not a calorie restricted diet. It's actually pretty high in calories. So you don't even have to worry about the calories. But it becomes kind of calorie restricted naturally, because you get to a point, after maybe a month or two, I get to a point where I am literally never hungry and I just don't even want to eat. It's just, I'm so full of fat that you're just not hungry anymore.
Fats, proteins, fibers, things that take a long time to break down in your body. It really kind of slows your appetite down.
It naturally becomes calorie restricted. But with that, it can affect your thyroid, it can affect your hormones if you actually get to a point where you're not eating enough and you are doing calorie restriction. So you have to be really careful with that. That's
especially women.
Women, of course, right?
Ketogenic diet can really help the hormone balance by increasing those fats.
Exactly.
But you don't want to go into some low-calorie zone. That's not the point of this, where you just don't want to eat, and then you're going to lose the effects of that, and it can actually affect your hormones in a negative way. So you really have to be careful with that.
So one way to kind of avoid that, and actually if you have a thyroid issue, this can be beneficial for you, but you want to really make sure that you're supplementing with MCT. Like medium chain triglycerides is a great thyroid booster. So getting a lot of that and making sure that you're really getting either a C6 or a C8 MCT. Those are, C6 or 8. Those are 8 or 10, sorry. You want it, not the 10, a C8 or a C10. Caprylic acid is a great one. These are the MCT oils that are really used by your body quickly. They're a great energy boost, and they really are a boost for your thyroid as well. So that's why ketogenic can be beneficial. If you are getting a lot of MCTs, it can help your thyroid as well, but it can harm your thyroid if you get to that point where you're not eating and you are on a very calorie restricted diet. Yeah. So I've been there, I've gone there to where I can't even eat anymore. That's when I will say, okay, I gotta pull myself out of ketosis and I gotta start getting a little bit more of the carbs back in there. So you kind of have to feel it out and see what's best for you.
Sometimes she has to really be on me to make sure that I'm doing things correctly, because I sometimes will veer a little bit, but sometimes at the end I have to make sure I'm like, you're not eating, so I'm like, finish your plate.
It's good to do it with somebody,
you know,
because
so
they can really help you.
it's good to have an accountability partner, because we
Yeah.
get after each other, but you don't want to just get to that point where you're not eating. That's not the point. That's not sustainable, and that's not a good lifestyle. So
No.
this is something that you can cycle in and out, but you have to eat.
So we didn't really tell you guys yet how do you do ketogenic. So ketogenic is basically 70 to 90% fat in your diet. They're heart healthy fats. So if you
Whole food fats.
If you are used to being on a low fat or a fat free diet, this is really gonna trip you up a little bit. Gonna kind of challenge your thinking. But you're doing a ton of fat. You are doing very minimal. Well, not minimal, but a moderate amount of protein. This is where it really differs from Atkins, because a lot of people say, isn't that just Atkins? It's not Atkins.
You can't overdo the protein.
Different. You have to be careful, because the excess protein will turn into sugar in your body when you're doing ketogenic. If you are not, or if you're just doing like an abundance of protein, then it does become Atkins. So it has to be high fat. In the morning, we will do our coffee, and we will throw all kinds of fats in our coffee.
Oil.
I'll do MCT. Sometimes we'll do butter. That really sometimes will make
That's hard for
like,
people
what?
to do. People are like, what?
They
Butter?
can't grasp the butter, but
Yeah.
it's really good if you blend it up. It kind of froths up like a latte.
And here's the thing, I've talked about this before on Coffee with the K's. If you go back and look at our past videos, you're gonna start a new lifestyle. Have your labs checked. Get your labs, get your baseline, know where you stand, and then after you do it for about 4 weeks, have your labs tested again and see where you're at. See if it did have a negative effect on your cholesterol. See if it did have a negative effect on your triglycerides. And for us, it has not. Of course, we make sure that even when we switch to ketosis, which I'm going to talk about this as well, fiber, which is my favorite thing, you have to supplement fiber. You're not going to get enough fiber doing just a typical ketogenic diet, because everything carb that are easy grabbing fibers, you're not going to get. So you have to supplement that. So we supplement.
This is the one, you guys, that we take. This is standard process gastrofiber. We do carry this in our office, but
even though we eat a lot of leafy greens, we eat a lot of broccoli, a lot of that stuff, cucumbers, you still need to supplement your fiber, because your fiber is essential to feed those prebiotics, those probiotics in your gut. It's essential to pull bad cholesterol out of the body. So you just need to make sure that you stay up on your fiber, and you also stay up on your nutrients, your vitamins and minerals.
But you have to understand too, you guys, you're not eating processed fats. You're not eating trans fats. You're eating heart healthy fats. So really your cholesterol is not something that you really have to worry about. Your HDLs should raise. Your LDLs, they might go up a little bit, but you have to remember you're taking in higher amounts of fat.
Yeah.
So it's just something that you have to think about. Really, the number one thing, if you're worried about that, the cholesterol, make sure you're getting your C-reactive protein tested, or your IL-6. These are your inflammatory markers. If you have an inflammatory marker within the body, that's where you need to be worried about, and that's your number one you need to focus on, is that inflammation. Okay?
Yeah.
Then the cholesterol is an issue, but that's kind of something that you have to remember. You're taking in more fat, so your fats are going to go up. It's just kind of the way that it is.
Yeah.
But as long as you really have a good balance of the HDL, you guys, we're good. Okay? So high fat, we're doing moderate amounts of protein and making sure that you're still getting in your healthy fibers and that kind of thing. You want to take your vitamins. Make sure that you're still getting your nutrients. There is such a thing as keto flu. It's real, you guys.
This is very real.
This is something that you have to be aware of. If you decide that you're going to take on the ketogenic lifestyle, or you're going to go for it for a short amount of time, be prepared for something called the keto flu.
Brain fog.
This is something that is real, and I can tell you from experience. I've done it. I remember when I first did it, I went to work and I did not know what was going on. I was in such a fog. Like, I could not even explain to you. I was just like slow, and things were not moving quite. It was weird. But it's just a carb withdrawal. You don't realize how your body depends on those carbs and how many carbs you give it.
The chemistry of your body. Your body has now got to adapt to taking energy a different route. It's breaking things down completely differently. So you have to give yourself time for that. It's going to take most people, if you've been on a carb-rich, so let's say you're a binge eater, or you're eating a horrible diet right now, it's going to take you even longer. If you're doing a balanced 30%, 40%, 30% type of a deal that you're eating pretty good right now, it'll take you maybe less time, but anywhere from a week to 2 weeks to actually get into that nutritional ketosis zone. And in that first week might be a little...
It's tough.
A little tough.
It's tough. So you have to fight through it. You're not eating any sugar, you guys. It's very minimal sugar. It's like a no-carb diet or very low amounts of carbohydrates that you are taking in. So your body is going to go through a withdrawal period. Be prepared for that. I'm telling you, you're not going to feel good. or you might.
Just like an addict.
You might feel great. You might feel the energy boost. Yeah. Chances are you're not.
Chances are you're not, but you just have to work through it, and then you will feel better. And then once your brain really starts grabbing those ketones, it will really fight for them. You'll actually get that clarity back, and actually will be a little bit more crisp and a little bit more clear.
One of the benefits of ketogenic is once you get into ketosis, you guys, your brain is so clear, like you're sharp. Everything you're energized. That's what I love about it. I'm kind of an energized person, and I like having the energy. It's like go, go, go. Yeah. You think clear. You're burning. You're constantly in a state of burning fat, and ketones, they don't store in your body as fat. So if you have just like an abundance of ketones in your body, you're just going to pee them out.
Yeah,
your body don't store them.
Your body naturally will regulate the ketone level in your blood. Okay, so if you're a healthy individual, you're not a type 1 diabetic, you're not an end stage type 2 diabetic, your body will self-regulate those ketones. So a lot of people think ketosis, they think diabetic ketoacidosis, which is a metabolic pathology. Okay,
that's one of the number one things that people say to me is, isn't that bad? Isn't that ketoacidosis? They think of that immediately.
No, they're
two very different things. Yeah. Tell them the difference.
Well, the main difference, I already kind of addressed it. That's a metabolic pathology, right? So your pancreas can't break it down. Maybe you're alcoholic or like I said, type 1 or end stage type 2, because even some type 2 can handle this diet. Of course, you want to monitor that with your doctor, but it's one of those things where the ketones build up in the blood to that point where it actually lowers your pH in the blood, and it takes you into that more acidic zone, which can be very life-threatening, but it's completely different than a nutritional ketosis, which is way different and doesn't actually ever get up to those high levels. Your body naturally will regulate and break down those ketones from the liver as it needs, okay, as it needs energy.
Controlled.
It doesn't just flood the blood with tons of ketones and it can't work. It actually does it on a monitor. It actually knows how to break down what you need for your energy level, for your daily activities. Completely different than diabetic ketoacidosis.
Yeah. So you don't have to, be afraid of that. That is something that if I am putting somebody on ketogenic, that's usually a question that will come up.
Always comes up.
What about that? So they're not the same thing. You don't have to be afraid of that. They're
not if you're generally a healthy person, that's not going to be an issue for you.
Yeah, you were born in ketosis. Just a quick little fact for you: babies are ketogenic. That's how you.
I mean, if you started out. If you went without food for 3 days, this is a life-saving mechanism from the body. I mean, if you're 72 hours in starvation mode, your body would start going into ketosis, breaking down ketones, because your body is going to survive. So, but you're going to constantly feed this system, so you're not going to go into a starvation mode, but you'll still be in that nutritional ketosis zone because of the foods that you're consuming.
So this ketogenic started from a man who had a son that had epileptic seizures, and he was kind of desperate for an answer for a fix. I think so. And he actually, through all his research, came up with this and figured out how this works, and the ketogenic nutritional ketosis actually helped stop the seizures in his son. And he started the Charlie Foundation and has now paired up with several different hospitals. Johns Hopkins is one of them. And they put kids on this that have epileptic seizures, and it is a great treatment. They've had great success doing this. So it's not a fad diet. It's a healthy way to be. It
started with medical implications. So it's still being used today. I mean, they're really starting to continue research on neurological disorders specifically.
There's a ton of research out there.
MS, Parkinson's, things, especially with that high fat, they're finding things that can help benefit people that are in those treatment programs. But of course, it's hard to do. It is, it's a diet change. So
you have to be ready to be committed. If you're not successful doing ketogenic, my number one question is, are you doing it right? Are you doing it? Are you being strict? Are you adhering to it? Because if you veer from ketogenic for just one bite, you will pull yourself out of ketosis and you have to start all over.
Yeah.
It's not something that you can say, okay, I'm just going to have a little nibble of this bread today.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
You can't treat.
You have to commit to it. If you say you're going to do it, you have to do it. If you want the results and you want to be successful, you have to do it.
Don't treat ketogenic diet like a low-cal thing where you kind of pick and choose. You start and you kind of do what you want. Like, okay, I was doing ketosis for 5 days, but I didn't do too bad. I ate something today, but yeah, maybe had a small sandwich, whatever, but it was just a small amount of food. That's not how it is. So when you do ketogenic, you are on that ketogenic plan. You don't veer from it and then change it on day 3, day 4, and then I'm going to be back on it, because that's going to give you this yo-yo thing, and you're not going to be successful.
With it,
you have to stick with it. And I always tell people, about that 4th week, especially if you haven't done it before, you get to that 4th week, you really notice a difference.
You'll kick it into overdrive there. So we do it cyclically, which means we go in and out of it, and we will do it, I would say, maybe every other month or so. I mean, it's pretty, or we'll do it for 2 months.
3 months.
And then we'll pull out for a couple months or something like that. So we're constantly going in and out of it, and there are so many health benefits to doing that. One thing is we're able to really control our weight by doing it, because you drop your pounds a little bit. Sorry, you want to fix that. But there are just so many, it feeds your brain, it's good for your nerves, your cells, it's good for your entire body. It's just like your body will soak up that fat, it's good for your hormones, it's
gives
good
your pancreas a break.
It makes you very sensitive to insulin. So, I mean, for me, I notice a huge difference when I come out of it. I'm like, I like being in it. I like the way that I feel when I'm in ketosis. I'm high energy and I feel good. We will be back on it. We have some goals this
It's 2018,
year.
so it's a good time to make some of those changes.
Yep.
It's cold outside. Here's the thing, though. We have it. We've already talked about making sure you up your nutrition, you up your minerals, you up your fiber.
Yeah.
Exercise.
Exercise is huge. If you're doing ketosis and you're not exercising, you're not getting the full benefits of it. Don't do anything that's you don't have to do anything that's crazy that really puts a lot of stress on the body. Just do, make sure that you're moving. Keep moving while you're doing ketogenic, because you will just lose twice as fast, and you'll just have, it puts you really into ketosis.
It'll pull you in
exercising,
quicker. And it's good for your heart. You don't want to ever stop exercising and be like, okay, I'm just going to eat my way, or I'm just going to exercise my way. It's a combination.
It's got to be both.
Of diet and exercise that's really going to make things work for you.
Yeah. So I want to
Let's talk about our products.
Over some products. No, we don't make money off of these. We just want to show you what has worked.
We just spend money on these things.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not cheap. But we're going to show you the things that, we've been doing this for a couple years now, things that have really worked for us, that we're kind of like, if we don't have them, we may not be as successful.
It's a must-have list of products that help enhance our foods. So, of course, we don't have any actual whole foods here. Crystal loves to cook. I love to eat her cooking. And she makes great things. She buys, we buy meats, we buy vegetables, we buy all that stuff. But these are things that help enhance those or get us through the day to make sure you're keeping up your energy.
Exactly. Okay, so the first thing is Brain Octane. We get this through Bulletproof. I'm gonna post all the links if you guys want to order this stuff. This is now sold at Whole Foods since they merged with Amazon. They're now carrying Brain Octane. This is caprylic acid. It is a quick energy. We put this in our coffee in the morning. I will throw this on whatever I can, however I can get it in, because I feel like my brain is more clear. This is a C8, so this is caprylic acid, and it is a quick energy, you guys. It just goes in and it's absorbed quickly. So this is one of those things that
it takes a little bit for your stomach to get used to for some people, but don't worry about that.
Yeah, you just start small. It's a form of MCT, okay? The other thing, this is another Bulletproof. I think this is only our other one. This is fat water. If you get tired of just drinking water on ketones or ketogenic, this is kind of helpful. It has Brain Octane in it. It has some B vitamins. It just gives you flavor and a quick boost. So these taste good.
Sometimes it gets a little old drinking water, I will admit, but
exactly. Coconut aminos. I know a lot of people they cook with this, but this is fantastic. There's 1 gram of carb in this. We use this as kind of like what don't I put this in?
We use
Literally,
this in all our cooking just to flavor it up.
Meats, vegetables, whatever, I can put this in. You can think of this kind of as a soy, or you can think of it as
it's a good soy sauce alternative.
Something like that. It's just it's a soy sauce alternative, but it's
low sodium.
Really, it's great.
It's great.
The other thing, salad dressing. We do Tessemae's, or we do Primal Kitchen. These are good. Primal Kitchen is made with avocado oil. These have some other oils in it, but there's like no carbs in these. So this is a really good one. I know you can get this at grocery stores, any grocery store, not a health food store.
And if you look like with our Tessemae, part of the reason why we choose this is, you know, obviously it's low in carb and things like that for our ketogenic lifestyle, but at the same time it's made with good oils. So even though you go, you know, you can go to the supermarket and find, you know, just typical salad dressings. If you go back to our old videos, we do try to eat good oils and not have those,
as much as you can,
those really highly processed vegetable oils and things like that. So we try to stay away from things like that.
Yes. Okay.
Even when we choose those things.
This is like a must-have, you guys. I have probably 10 of these in my refrigerator. This is the Rao's marinara sauce.
This is the one that kind of hurts the pocketbook just a little bit.
It's not cheap sauce, but it is like a must-have. If you're a pasta eater or you like pasta, who doesn't like pasta? This just feels like you're eating something substantial when you're on keto. And we buy zoodles
by the
gallon.
We stopped making our own zucchini noodles because Whole Foods has them. It's just easier. It's just better.
So we just buy them already prepared. Zoodles are zucchini noodles. No, you can't have the beet and you can't have the squash, but you can have the zucchini.
A low glycemic vegetable.
And I like fight for them. I'm telling you, they're never there. So I have to buy as many as I can when I'm there. But this sauce is fantastic. We'll throw our meat, we'll throw our fat in it, and we have like a hearty meal. If you don't like...
But before you get into that, if you, for some reason, don't think you like zucchini noodles, you're like, I know that that's not pasta, that's going to gross me out, put this sauce on it. Okay? The first time Crystal made this for me, it was fantastic. It was like I was eating a spaghetti dish from a restaurant. It just totally helped me out.
Yeah.
And we'll mix these with other. You can make like sausage and peppers or something with this sauce. I mean, this sauce is just dynamite. But to have something with that much flavor that's just that good can really just help you out. Can really push you through.
You can make like
keto pizzas.
Like if you don't, I love the zucchini noodles. I don't have any issues with them, but I have had a lot of patients say, I hate them, I can't do it. This is your alternative. These are palmini noodles, and they, once again, you just have a vegetable, but there is literally one carb in, in a pretty good serving of these. So they're cut like linguine noodles, and they feel like linguine, and they're good.
They look like linguine, you know. So.
Yeah, so you kind of trick yourself. This is another option. I get this off of Amazon. I do order that.
And you got to get creative. So think about like you add this sauce. You could throw broccoli in there, mushrooms in there, peppers in there, have a nice leafy green salad.
Butter.
You know, because you got to get that fiber, you've got to get those nutrients. So when you're cutting out, your fruits and things like that, you got to make sure you up your vegetable intake, but you do those low glycemic vegetables. You know, you're not going to be doing the potatoes, you're not going to be doing the corn, you're not going to be doing things like that.
Any of the good stuff. You are popping up weird stuff. Okay, the other thing is exogenous ketones are ketones that you're getting from an outside source that your body is not making. So these help us. We do these a lot. Orange is like my favorite color.
Orange is your favorite color.
It's not my favorite color.
Learn something new today.
It's my favorite flavor. Stop. Okay, anyways.
She usually wears a lot of orange, as you can tell.
I would say more black. Okay, that's hilarious. Anyways. Orange,
this is a way to actually supplement your ketones, right?
Really,
so instead of just eating things to break down ketones in your body, this is a way to supplement. It can help kick you into ketosis.
It keeps you really in there. If you do it before you work out or you do it in the morning, it's a great way to just push your body in. They also sell a keto cream, which is really good. You put it in your coffee, especially
if you're tons of different
if you don't
flavors.
Like black or you don't like butter in your coffee. Keto cream is an awesome. I'm going to put a link for you guys for there. And then, of course,
Of course, we talked about the fiber.
But one of the other things people say, I can't do it, I love wine, I can't do ketogenic. Okay, I have an alternative for you. Well, it's not an alternative, but an answer.
An answer.
Dry Farm Wines Club is keto friendly, and it's not cheap. Once again, I swear none of this, anything healthy is expensive, But if you really can't do keto because of your wine, you can join the Dry Farm Wines Club. And you get 6 wines as often as you would like. You can get 6 or 12 bottles. And I like the red, but I don't drink that often. But it's just something that feels like
you're part of the real world. You haven't completely
part of the real world.
Checked out.
It's wine. It's 100% real wine. It's not like you're drinking something fake. It
Good
has
wine.
a lot less alcohol in it because it is completely fermented. Some of the wines that you'll drink from the grocery store or you'll get at the store or a restaurant, they're not fully fermented and they have had sugar added to them. This wine is fully fermented, so there's like no sugar left in it. And the alcohol content is very low, so it's much healthier for you. We are... Sorry. Okay, so it's much healthier for you. I'll put a link for all of these products.
It's just a better wine, so you can still live your life. You can still have a glass of wine at the end of the night. You can still do some things. We wanted to give you some options to show you that it's not just a completely strict, check you off the planet kind of thing. Now let's show you another treat. Grab your favorite one.
Keto Pups?
No, the...
I forgot this one.
All right, this is a lifesaver.
We could live without this.
Yeah, this is a lifesaver.
The Super Dark Blackout from Ultra Eco Chocolate. Okay, you guys, I'm all about having chocolate at night, having a square or 2 or half of the bar, because you're still in ketosis.
Maybe not half of the bar,
You can have half of the bar and still stay in ketosis. If you are a sugar eater and you love it, this would be your saving grace, and this is ours. I don't do this every night, but this is something that, this has to
What does it have again?
So it has 3 grams
3
of
grams
carbs.
3 grams of carbs. You'll not find a better chocolate than this. And remember, when you do find your keto products and you're looking and you're kind of reading labels and going through or doing investigative work, you're going to make sure you can subtract your fiber from your total carb count.
Yes.
Okay? So
that will give you your actual amount.
That'll give you your actual amount. So it'll keep you in that keto-friendly zone still, but it might look a little high on carbs, but subtract that fiber content.
I'm just going to look and see because I think we might have had some questions. The marinara sauce is Rouse. Yes.
And you can get Rouse anywhere. We buy it at Whole Foods, but you can get it at Kroger. You can get it at Meijer. I mean, it's everywhere. It's a real popular sauce. I think it's a restaurant in New York City.
We have a few questions. So this is Rouse, and we do get this at Whole Foods, but you can get it at any grocery store. They're really starting to carry this now. The other one, the fat packets that we have, these are Prove It Ketones. I'm going to put the link down there for that. You can also buy fat packets from the health food store that are just packets of coconut oil, and you can have them on the go. I will keep some of those in my purse, and that way if I'm like out and I can't grab a meal or something, I can grab a quick cup of coffee or tea and I can throw my fat into my coffee or my tea. I wanted to see if we had any other ones.
Check those questions. I know this one might be one of our longer Coffee with the K's. You can tell we do get a little excited about this because it's something that we do every day.
Okay, so somebody said, why do you have to come out of it? Why do we come out of ketogenic?
Some people do stay in, there are people that are diehard ketogenic. They'll do more of a 90% or a 95%. We like to kind of get back into the normal routine, allow your pancreas, allow that glucose, just go back into a normal state.
It's kind of good to shock the body, to do things, to change it up, and then your body is forced to adapt to different things. That's a really good way to, I like that, forcing my body to adapt to different situations.
To switch back and forth, go back.
It keeps it very healthy. It's a good way to do it. You go in and you get the benefits and you come out.
And here's the other aspect. Here's the practical aspect of doing it more in a cycle, is it allows you to actually create this to be a lifestyle. If you're gonna say, if you're maybe a poor eater right now, or even not too bad, and you're like, okay, I'm going to go ketogenic, and this is the way I'm going to live. And if that's the way you live, that's great. Make sure you're not getting any deficiencies nutritionally or anything like that. That's fantastic. But for most people, it's like they'll do something, they'll get burned out on it. They're like, I can't do this anymore. Then they're done. And then they go back to their old system. They're like, yeah, I remember. Well, I should have stuck with that. Well, what if in your routine you went in more of a cycle where you did this for tried to maybe hit your target weight. For 3 months you did ketogenic, or 1 month, whatever it was. Then you pulled out for a little bit, lived in the normal world for a little bit. You still need to eat healthy, but just did things a little bit more normal with a 30, 40 kind of percentage. and then went back into keto, and you're like, well, I just go right back in and that's why one thing I like to do it that way.
He's done it before where he'll carb cycle, so he's living ketogenic, but then all of a sudden if he's really trying to build muscle and he's lifting a lot, he'll go into carb loading.
Carb loading, so that's where you'll go into ketogenic.
You can do a lot of things with it.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't want to just be strict into ketogenic, you can do a lot with it and still get really good benefits.
There's a lot of applications, but I do think that it's great to give your pancreas a break, but I also think our body, you know, there's a reason why we do use glucose so efficiently as well, and it's good for everything. So I like to just kind of let my body do
Cycle
both.
it.
And really kind of maintain an even stream and make this a created lifestyle. And then if, you know, Christmas rolls around, New Year's, whatever, and you go over to a family's get together, you don't have to be the odd man out eating your bag of celery in the corner. You can actually be a part of the whatever the festivity is. I mean, you can make it work for you. But I would say, if you're going to try this for ketogenic, don't think that way to start with. You need to get into nutritional ketosis. You need to stay in nutritional ketosis until we get to your goals, until we see those body changes made so that you can feel the benefits, you see the changes, then you go out for a little bit, and then you get right back in. Yeah,
exactly. So if you want to, you know, if you need help or there's a lot of do's and don'ts still. I mean, there's a lot to ketogenic. Feel
Pros and
free,
cons.
come in and see us. We are going to be starting on Monday. We'll get right back into ketogenic on Monday. Join us. We would love to have you, you know, a part with us.
We'd love to hear your stories. We'd love to see how you're doing, and then you could also keep us accountable as well. See how we're feeling. If you say, "Man, Doc, he's a little bit ornery today."
It's day one.
Day one. You'll know why.
Yeah. So you can come in, you can schedule an appointment with me, and I am happy to put you on nutritional ketosis and kind of help you with your recipes and things like that. Don't forget, if you guys have Instagram, make sure that you follow us on Instagram. It's just Williamston Sport and Spine, and we are going to be posting in our Insta stories all kinds of recipes and tips and things like that as we are going through ketogenic. We're going to show you how we do it, different products that we're using on a day-to-day basis, just overall health tips. It's a new year, and we really want to encourage you to have a little healthier year this year.
Yeah.
So make sure that you find that.
Happy New Year, everybody, 2018.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, make sure you do comment below. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. Check out our YouTube channel. We're going to post this video on Monday, and then we'll post every video on Monday and then transfer it from there. But we're really excited to be back doing the Coffee with the K's. We had a lot of fun last time with our last series.
Yeah.
So please follow us next Saturday, 10 o'clock in the morning. Happy New Year.
Bye, guys. Have
Bye,
a great
everybody.
weekend.